The chat, the participant. Well, it depends. Because a lot of people, this is what she.
Morning. We'll start today's service with opening meditation, followed by Nembutsu.
Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu.
Good morning again. And good morning online. We welcome you and we're happy you're here today. A little bit about our special service today. It's Bodhi Day. Bodhi Day, or Jodo in Japanese, is the gathering in which we commemorate Prince Siddhartha's attainment of enlightenment and became the Buddha at the age of 35 years old. According to Mahayana Buddhist tradition, it is said that it was in the early morning hours on December 8th that the prince attained enlightenment after 49 days of meditation under the peepal tree, which known today is the Bodhi tree. After his enlightenment, the Buddha became fully aware of the interconnection of everyone and later delivered his first message of the Four Noble Truths. So we welcome you today to this very special service. Next we will have Sambujo, which is a handout that you received inside your green green service. And we will have Sambujo by Reverend Candace Shibata. Thank you.
members of the Sangha of the Buddhist Church of Stockton are gathered to observe the day of Siddhartha Gautama's birth as the Buddha, the Awakened One. This event was coined after the fig tree which Siddhartha Gautama meditated under and later awoke to the true nature of life to become the Buddha Shakyamuni, the Awakened One, the sage of the Shakya clan. The tree has since come to be named the Bodhi tree, or tree of awakening. This site is called Bodhagaya, near the city of Gaya in India. He who awoke to the true nature of the Dharma is Shakyamuni Buddha. In Jodo Shinshu, the true nature of the Dharma is called Amida Buddha. We adorn the altar with offerings, burn incense, and chant the sutras in praise and appreciation for the teachings handed down through the ages, so that we may be able to deeply sense our connection to the ultimate reality. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.
Thank you, Reverend, for your Kyobyakumon as well. The next honor for today is our Daka, Spotoke Sama, service book, page 174, followed by 3 treasures, also included in this program.
Treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the 3 treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony in a spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of culpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amidavitsu. Namo Amidavitsu. Namo Amidavitsu. Namo.
Next we will have Sutra Chanting, Jisei. Service book, page 94. Also, it's included in the back of this program. We will now have Oshoko incense offering by the following representatives. For Dharma School student, Emily Wong. Dharma School teacher, Ruby Kako. Songaho, Ella Ulanora. Young Buddhist Association, Elise Fuji. Young Adult Buddhist Association, Dr. Alan Kawaguchi. Youth Athletic Organization, Derek Uyemura. Adult Buddhist Association, Dolores Matsumura. Tomonokai Mike Shibata. Stockton Bukyo Taigo, Chris Kubo. Stockton Kendo Dojo, George Fuji. Stockton Buddhist Women's Association, Kathy Fujimori. Cortez Alkai, Dan Kubo. And from the Buddhist Church of Stockton, Candy Hayashi. Thank you, everyone. Next, we will have our Dharma School message with Reverend Ken Fujimoto. A little bit about Reverend Ken Fujimoto. He was born in Tokyo, Japan. In 1971, he received his Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics from UC Santa Cruz, and later received a Master's of Arts degree in Jodo Shinshu Buddhist Studies from Ryukoku University, located in Kyoto, Japan. Reverend Fujimoto became a Kaikyoshi minister for the Buddhist Churches of America in 1977 and began his ministerial career at the Fresno Buddhist Temple. His other temple assignments include the Sacramento Buddhist Church, Buddhist Church of Lodi, and the San Jose Buddhist Church. Reverend and Mrs. Fujimoto have 3 adult children, Genta, Yusuke, and Nina. In his retirement, Reverend Fujimoto still enjoys a good game of golf. Welcome, Reverend Ken Fujimoto.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that nice introduction. I'd like to begin today by sharing with you part of a song. I'm not going to sing it so you can be, the rest of these, but I think that it's appropriate for today. So I quote, "I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's going to be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All the bad feelings have disappeared. Here's the rainbow I've been praying for. It's going to be a bright, bright, sunshiny day." I think I see a few faces out there that probably remember this song from the 70s and such. And I'm glad to see that I don't feel as old as I thought I might. But, I think this is a feeling that Siddhartha must have had when he attained enlightenment that day. Everything cleared up. Everything that had been bothering him was clear now. But before I get into the Dharma School talk, I have one question for the Dharma School students. Just because you're in the Buddhist church today, just be as honest as you can be. What's the most important thing in December? Anybody? Nobody knows? What do you think is the most important thing in December? I mean, people at school talk about it. On TV, you see all kinds of commercials about it. Isn't it Christmas? Right? Yeah. I mean, you kind of feel embarrassed saying that in the Buddhist church, but then I wanted to kind of touch on, you know, what is it that the Buddhists should feel about Christmas, right? How should Buddhists feel about Christmas? And I'd like to share with you a story about, you know, two kids that were growing up, you know. But this is about Sid and Jesse. Now, you know, they're just two regular guys. Sid and Jesse, you know, would do things like, you know, talk to each other about different things, you know, but they had a lot of pressure on them from their parents and people in their lives. But, you know, they just happened to be sitting around talking one day, and they were talking about all kinds of things, you know, the World Cup, things that they like to do, school and projects, movies they wanted to see and stuff like that. And then Sid says to Jess, "Hey, you have a birthday coming up pretty soon, don't you?" And then Jess answers, "Yeah, you know, people tend to want to make a big thing about it, but I don't feel special." And then Sid says, "Yeah, people tend to want to make a big thing about birthdays and my birthday too, but you know, I know what you mean, you know, but what's so special? You know, everybody I know has a birthday. Does anybody here not have a birthday? Right? And everybody has a, yeah. So, you know, they said, it's really weird how people act about birthdays and such." And then Jesse says, "Well, let's go over to your place and see what they have as snacks. You know, your place is almost like a castle, so they always have something really good." Now, how many of you can guess who Jess and Sid are? Nobody? Yeah, okay. So Jess is like Jesus, and Sid is Siddhartha, right? And the whole point is, if Prince Siddhartha had known Jesus, he would very likely congratulate him on his birthday, right? And say happy birthday to him. So it's not bad for a Buddhist to recognize that Christmas is an important day for a lot of their friends. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. And at the same time, you know, Jesse or Jesus, if he had known Prince Siddhartha, would have told him happy birthday at his birthday as well. You know, there's nothing wrong with being pleasant or courteous about things like that. And the other point is that everybody is born. You know, like I said, nobody here has not been born. Everybody has birthdays. And what did you do to be born? What did you do to be born? Not your parents. I'm not talking about parents. I'm not talking about doctors or whoever else. But how hard did you work to be born? How hard did you struggle to be born? And there are probably some traumatic events that happened. But do you remember any of it? Most of us don't. You know, some people claim they do, but I doubt it. Everybody was born, but Buddha was not born, right? It was touched upon in the Hyogakuon today, but the Buddha was not born. Siddhartha was born, but through years of life and struggling to find the truth, after leaving the castle, he was able to fulfill his journey. And you know, he was able to find the truth that needed to be found. And he spent years seeking and searching that until he came to see the truth and become enlightened before he became one with Amida Buddha. And that's why you're gathered here today. You know, that young boy grew and struggled for years to complete this quest and become the sage of the Shaka clan, the Shakyamuni Buddha. The young boy eventually grew and became one with Amida. So this is why you're gathered here today. You know, and the one person, that's not quite right. You know, the Buddha was not born, and that's what we come to celebrate. The fact that he struggled, he worked, and he became the Buddha. And this is a goal that all of us as Buddhists need to try to attain as well. So that's why we're gathered here today. So I'll close here for the grammar school talk, and I guess you guys are going to be excused and have your lessons. So I'll set that hide a little bit, and then you can go. Okay, thank you.
If you can please stand, we will do the recitation of our pledge with Reverend Shihara.
Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance. I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. No. Please be seated.
And thank you, Reverend Fujimoto, for your talk. Next, we will have installation of our officers. We will have an installation from the Young Adult Buddhist Association, Adult Buddhist Association, Stockton Buddhist Taiko, Komonokai, Stockton Buddhist Women's Association, and the Buddhist Church of Stockton Executive Board. As your name is called, please come up and Oshoko. The president of each organization will receive a candle from Sensei to be passed on to each of their cabinet officers. The last officer will then place the candle onto the stand. Just giving her a moment. First, we'll have from Young Adult Buddhist Association, President Dr. Alan Kawaguchi. Vice President, Dr. Linda Sakimura Kawaguchi. Recording Secretaries, Mike Shibata.
No.
Corresponding Secretary, Karen Shimozaki. The treasurer is Tiffany Shibata. Unfortunately, she cannot make it today. So we'll go to historian Lynn Matsumoto. Next, we'll have Adult Buddhist Association President Dolores Matsumura. Vice President Mabel Morodomi. Recording Secretary Mike Shibaka. Corresponding Secretary Barbara Ueda. Treasurer Peggy Takahashi. Next up will be Stockton Bukio Taiko, President Chris Kubo. Vice President and Artistic Director Kiyono Kishi. Vice President and Gig Coordinator Ralph Womack. Secretary Susan Bruni. Treasurer Mari Arcoleo. And last, historian, one more. Anne Fukumoto and Marina Stobo. Okay, we have Tomono Kai, President Wayne Morisaki. Treasurer Peggy Takahashi. Next up will be Stockton Buddhist Women's Association, Executive Council, Darlene Bagshaw, Kathy Fujimori, and Sachi Yanokida. Sachi's online, so she's doing this instead. Vice President Ruby Kato. Recording Secretary Vivian Fuji. Corresponding Secretary Virginia Uchida. Treasurer May Psyche. And Co-Treasurer Kay Freeman. If you could please put the candle, up on the candle out there. Oh, thanks. Buddhist Church of Stockton Executive Board President Candy Hayashi. Co-Vice President of Membership Kathy Fujimori, Mike Shibata. Vice President of Religious Education, Debbie Nakare. Co-Vice President of Social Services, Ruby Hato and Dolores Matsumura. Vice President of Finance, Peggy Takahashi. Vice President, Special Events, Darlene Bagshaw. And we still have an opening, if anybody's interested, for Vice President of Building and Ground Maintenance. If you would all gather to the center of the front of the altar.
Thank you so much, everybody. It's an honor to be with you today as we do this class installation for many of our organizations. Will you please join me in Asha? And repeat after me. I take office. In and name your organization. Aware that it will require a commitment of time and effort. I will do my best to lead through both action and direction, using the Buddha Dharma as my guide. I affirm this pledge by taking refuge in three treasures. I take refuge in Buddha. I take refuge in Dharma. I take refuge in Sangha. Namo Wami Namas. Namo Wami Namas. Namo Wami Namas. Congratulations and thank you so much. I appreciate the love. Thank you, round of applause.
Please stay for a picture. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Now we will have closing remarks and announcements. Join us for our Bodhi Day luncheon today in the gym after service. Please take a moment when entering the gym to view our Dharma School Bodhi Day projects and enter our door prize drawing. There will be no service for the next 2 weekends for our winter break. Our New Year's Eve service is on Saturday, December 31st at 7 p.m. The New Year's service is Sunday, January 1st at 11 a.m. I'd like now to call up Darlene for a little bit more information about the crab feed and the New Year's party.
Okay, so we have some faces I haven't seen in a while. So hopefully this, we've received the information on the fact that we are going back to an in-person crab feed. This will be on January 14th. Reservations and ticket purchasing is open. Please contact the office. Cost is $70 per person. Ages 10 and under are 35. For groups of 8 or more, you will get reserved seating. We're also seeking volunteers. We kind of got a late start on this one, so we need everyone's help. If you are available on the night of the event and aren't eating crab, and you would like to come help, please let us know. Anybody on the executive board can make sure that we get your name to somebody who needs help. We will be selling drinks. We will be doing a raffle, serving dessert. The rest of it, and of course, there's trash. We have trash duty if you'd like to help with trash duty. But we also need donations for raffle prizes to make this a very successful event. We've had a generous donation from the Kawaguchis of soda, so if you and the Hamamotos of wine. So if you would like to donate something to supplement this, we are looking for desserts and any other beverages that want to be on our list. So please let me know. So we have exciting news. Now that we're back and in person and we can actually meet in the gym for luncheon, we can finally give Reverend Motoyoshi her retirement luncheon, as well as, after 2 years, welcome Reverend Shibata to our temple. So in case you don't know who she is, please come and you can meet her. So this will be, like I said, belated retirement for Reverend Motoyoshi, as well as a belated welcome luncheon for Reverend Shibata. Information is out with the invitation to the home for service. We will ask you to bring to this one your very best potluck dish for yourself and for others. We will be supplementing the menu. We have donations from many of our affiliated organizations. We want this to be a very fun and lighthearted and event where we can all gather for the first time and share stories and events. We are trying to put together an entertainment program, which of course features our taiko group, our ukulele group, and we're hoping for others. So we're working on that. So this will be an RSVP so that we make sure the supplemental food is correct. So when you get your invitation in the mail, please contact the temple office by email or phone and let us know that you will be coming. And we just want this to be real special. We actually have Stephanie Doy, who is taking a break from her duties as the Northern California 2022 Miss Cherry Blossom. She will come and she will MC our program in the home. So we have some special people doing special things. So please make that date available. It is January 22nd, and it will follow our home course service. If you have any other questions, please let us know. We're going to meet afterwards, so just let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Script is an ongoing fundraiser for the church. What it is every month, the church has a list of retailers that offer the gift cards, and we buy the gift cards and we get a little percentage back. So we do an order every month. If you're interested in doing or helping with our script program to get some help to help raise some money for our church, the December order has already been submitted, but we do order every month. So if you're interested in buying gift cards and some of that gets back to our church, see Mike Shibata for additional information. Sangha Club is continuing collection of aluminum cans and recyclable plastic bottles. Donations may be left by the white bin under the carport area. Thank you for considering the Sangha Club and helping to keep those recyclable bottles and cans out of the landfills. Thank you to our greeters, Dr. Ellen Kawaguchi and Dr. Linda Sakimura Kawaguchi for helping today. And also thank you to Reverend Fujimoto for joining us today. Please, are there any other announcements?
For those who ordered script last month, they should be arriving tomorrow. For those who ordered mochi from the Placer Register, I will be here at the temple from 1:30 to 3 next Sunday. If you want to pick up the script at that time, you can also do that. Thank you. Also, if you order through Amazon, please go to Amazon's bio and designate the British Church is soft and that, so recipient for the part of your purchase. Thank you.
There will be a Java baked potato sale the first Sunday of February, February 6th. We'll be selling tickets at the front of the temple in January. Thank you.
Okay, just a brief announcement. I'll be going to the hello goodbye meeting. I'll be making comments. So I'm the president of Adult Buddhist Association. We're having our holiday party. There's been a lot of changes during the COVID plague, or whatever you want to call it. But we made some changes. We used to have our meetings in the evening, and now we've changed it to the afternoons. So if you want to join ABBA, it's on Fridays, the third Friday of each month. And this coming Friday, we're having our holiday ABBA meeting. And we're going to have raffle prizes, bingo, and announcements, and just some holiday fun. So if you'd like to join or attend, it's from 11:30 till we're done. And we have a luncheon, and this time we're going to have prime rib. So if you'd love to come, we'd love to see you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, just very briefly, so we will be having soba, after the New Year's service. Please be very gentle and kind, this is my first time making it, but I will be recruiting, some help from the previous folks that have helped, in the past. So, please, you might be receiving a call from me, this week if you did help. So please join us for soba after the New Year's Eve service. Also, we do have our guest speaker for our homeschool service, and that will be Reverend Michael Endo. And Reverend Endo is the executive assistant of the bishop. And he's joined us before and also participated in our New Year's, was it our New Year's? Oh, no,
He did that.
the cooking demonstration. So, yeah, so he did participate in some of our New Year's functions. But a very dynamic and very heartfelt speaker, so I welcome you to join us for that service as well. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Any other announcements? Students grades nursery, kindergarten through sixth grade, you are dismissed to class. Before you leave, please observe good etiquette while leaving and offer incense if you haven't. We will again be hearing another talk from Reverend Fujimoto for those staying, so thank you so much.
We're going to class. Okay.
Oh. Hello, everybody, again, thank you so much for joining us. And it really is my pleasure to have Reverend Ken Fujimoto to be our guest speaker. Since I grew up here, then of course I grew up seeing Reverend Ken at many of the Lodi functions, as Carrie had mentioned, he had served in Lodi as well. And I believe his children are close to my age, so it's kind of like having a nice local mentor be with all of us, and I know that many of you know him as well. And so I guess without further ado, I'd like to introduce Reverend Ken to be our guest speaker for our adult Dharma message. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again. I didn't realize it was going to be such a break from this Dharma school talk to now. So normally, you know, for Dharma school, for Dharma messages, we have a reading and such. But I forgo that because I thought, you know, that the song was more meaningful for this particular day. But I don't want to do that again here because I want to do that at the end again. But so I'd like to start with a joke. This is an old joke, so some of you have probably heard it before and such, but I think it's kind of appropriate. You know, I find well, I find humorous things in all kinds of situations. Unfortunately, this is a secret, but sometimes, you find humor in funerals as well. And people think I'm kind of weird, but the only people that really get me are other ministers and funeral home directors. But anyway, this joke here involved a customs agent at the border. And every day there would be this guy coming across the border with a wheelbarrow full of sand. And, the customs agent knew something was happening, so he checked and checked and checked. And all he had was this wheelbarrow of sand. So he let him through. And this went on for every day until the guy was going to retire. And finally, the day before he retired, he asked the guy, I know you're still smuggling something. You come across every day with this wheelbarrow full of sand, and I look and I look and I can't find anything anywhere. What are you smuggling? I won't bust you or anything like that, but I just want to know. It's been something bothering me my whole career as a customs agent. And then the guy looked at him and says, wheelbarrows. He's smuggling wheelbarrows across the border every day. So the point here is that sometimes we look so hard that we don't see the important things. We miss what's really important. So people look at some parts of the legend about Shakyamuni Buddha, Prince Siddhartha becoming Shakyamuni Buddha, and they take it as true and look at other parts and assume that it's symbolic and look for the meaning behind it. But what is true and what isn't? Sometimes I think we assume something is being true and miss something that the story is trying to tell us. Most people think of Hanamatsuri as being the birth of the Buddha. But today, Bodhi Day is really the birth of the Buddha. And it's really not even a birth because the Buddha was not born. Hanamatsuri is the birth of Siddhartha, the prince who was to become the Buddha, the Shakyamuni Buddha. He completed the journey to become the Buddha, the enlightened one. And this is the part that's really important. The whole thing about Buddhism is the journey. And one of the things that most people miss is when you say, I am a Buddhist, what are you saying? You're saying you're not enlightened, right? So when you say you're not enlightened, another way of looking at it is saying, I'm a fool. I'm stupid. I don't know anything. And this is the beginning of that journey. To miss that point, to realize that you don't know, is the part that's really important. Because unless you realize you don't know what to study, you don't know what to look for. Right? That not knowing is the mark of a Buddhist. You're saying you're a Buddhist because you don't know. And your goal is to become a Buddha. So you will be able to find out and come to know it sometime. So we start from the point where we realize that we're not enlightened, and therefore we need to reach that state. We need to reach enlightenment. And we need to take this opportunity to see this and remind ourselves of that goal. One aspect of this that we often overlook is that one of the titles of the Buddha after enlightenment is Daijobu. Daijobu is one of those terms that most Japanese Americans will know to a certain point. What does Daijobu mean? Anybody? And there's a question, are you okay? And sometimes this means that everything is okay or everything's fine. But that's not the real meaning of Daijobu, right? Everything is fine and such as it's come down to that. It's a common usage in Japanese, but Daijobu was one of the titles of the Buddha. And Daijobu means, basically a great heroic person. And this is because Siddhartha, when he became Shakyamuni Buddha, it was realized that this took a lot of heroic actions and deeds. So it was a great heroic person, right? Jobu can also mean to be healthy and such, but then basically Jobu, in the traditional sense, is somebody that's heroic. And Daijobu, Dai is great, so a great heroic person is what one of the titles of the Buddha was. So, you know, usually people take it as everything is okay, but like I said, it's much more than that. And then on the other side of this Daijobu part, Shinran Shonin uses a term, he coined the term, Bombu, and this is a common person. And this is in opposition, in contrast to Daijobu. Yeah, on one hand, you have Daijobu, the great Buddha, the great heroic Buddha. And then on the other hand, we have the Bombu, us, right? A common person. And sometimes they use the term as, being common, unenlightened person or foolish person. This is part of what Jodo Shinshu really stresses, right? Jodo Shinshu Buddhism stresses the Bombu aspect. And he refers, Shinran Shonin refers to himself and other unenlightened beings as being Bombu. The common being that is not enlightened. And this is where Buddhism starts. A lot of times we forget that Jodo Shinshu is Buddhism. And it starts here. It starts from the fact that you need to realize you're not enlightened. You need to realize that you have a goal in front of you. You need to realize that to become a Buddha, to become able to see truth is the part that's really important. And this is what we're being encouraged to do on this day, on Bodhi Day. It's not just that a person, thousands of years ago, was able to find enlightenment. This is one of those things that I've always felt about Christmas as well. One of the things that I asked of a friend, a Christian mission one time, why is it Christmas? Shouldn't it be Jesusmas? The mass for Jesus being born, right? Because actually, one way of looking at it is that Jesus became Christ on Easter, after Easter. So, then he mentioned that from a Buddhist viewpoint, I'm right, because of the Bodhisattva ideal. Siddhartha was born, he was a human being, he had struggles, he had, questions, and he was able to clear that up and become a Buddha. But for a lot of Christianity, Jesus had to be born as a son, God and such, and all of this, and that's why we call it Christmas. But then from the Bodhisattva ideal, yes, Easter is the one that's more important. So for us, that Siddhartha became the Buddha is only as important as the fact that it's showing us that this can be done. All of us can do it. Now, what complicates things as far as like Jodo Shinshu goes is that we can't do it alone. We can't do it by ourselves like Siddhartha did. And this is what we often call other power. But other power is basically a deep understanding of the interrelationship, the interconnectedness of all things. How many of you can have the life that you have without the people around you? And then this is what Jodo Shinshu And all of Pure Land Buddhism is referring to when they talk about the primal vow. You know, the primal vow. The primal vow would be they often say it's the 18th vow and such, but it's embodiment of all 48 vows that Dharmakara made to become Amida Buddha. You know, and what is that one basic desire of all sentient beings? What is it that everybody wants? And put very simply, it's simply that you want to be happy. You know, how you define that happiness may change at different points in your life. But all you want is to be happy. But the question becomes, can you be happy by yourself? If your parents, your children, your significant other, if they're not happy, can you be happy? If your coworkers aren't happy, can you be happy? If the people around them aren't happy, can they be happy? And therefore you wouldn't be happy as well. So because of the interdependent nature of all things, your happiness is dependent on the happiness of all sentient beings. It's all intertwined. And when you come to realize this, then that realization comes from outside, right? Comes from the people around you. If I may. One of the important differences between sound of the gong in Buddhism and bells in Western society is that when you listen to the sound of the gong, where does it come from? Where does it come from? You know, it doesn't take you up and down. It seems to come and embrace you from the sides.
We're
right?
open.
If you listen closely, it seems to come at you from the sides. And this is telling us that when you look for the truth, when you look for the workings of the compassion, when you look for Amida, when you look for the other, you're not looking up or down. You look around you. It's going to be there. It's going to be embracing you. And this is what we need to come to see, that because of all of that that's around us, we will come to open our eyes and realize that, yes, I am unenlightened, I'm a common fool. And with them, because of the workings of all these people around us, of all these causes and conditions around us, we will come to see someday. And all we need to do is accept it, to accept that understanding. So without this understanding, without this realization that it's something that's showing us it is possible. It's happening. And we have to accept the fact that we need to start by realizing that we're foolish and incapable. And this is really hard. I think one of the hardest things to do in life as a human being is admit you might be wrong. A lot of times you get in an argument, like siblings, you get in an argument and they'll say, at the end, I'm sorry, I was wrong. But most of the time they don't mean it. Most of the time you don't mean it. I'll let it go this time, but then, I know I'm right, you're wrong, but then to smooth things over, we'll say it's okay. But this is not the way it's supposed to be honestly able to say, I am wrong. I don't know. I may be a lot, more foolish than I thought. This is difficult. But this is where we have to start. And that's why some really hardcore, senior ministers will tell you right from the beginning, you're stupid, you're wrong. But then, most of them are retired and they don't care if people come to the temple regularly. Reverend Shivali can't do that right now because all of you would want to run away. I can do that now because I've only come once in a while. So, I don't care. But again, to come to that realization and make this will mark this as an opportunity to learn and head towards enlightenment. It's something that would make this really meaningful. So with those few thoughts, I'd like to conclude by once again sharing with you a couple of verses from this song by Johnny Nash. And I guess it was popular in the 70s. So looking out there, some of you will have some familiarity with this song. So I quote, "I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's going to be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All the bad feelings have disappeared. Here's a rainbow I've been praying for. It's going to be a bright, bright, sunshiny day." Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. One aspect of Namo Amida Butsu can also be taken as being, it's going to be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for your very uplifting Dharma message in regards to even reminding all of us to truly humble ourselves, knowing that we are foolish and that's okay, foolish beings, and that's okay. But the great power of Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion for all of us, and that sunshiny day of our attainment of Buddhahood as well. So thank you so much, Sensei. And I again want to express my appreciation to all of you for your attendance today. And please join us in the gym for our luncheon as well. And then you could also say hello to Reverend Fujimoto. So to conclude this portion of the service, please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So thank you so much. If you didn't have the opportunity, please come forward and burn incense before you leave today. And please join us in the gym. Thanks so much.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining us again today. We hope you enjoyed our service, which will still be available on YouTube. We're going to end the live stream shortly, and thank you.